Your body can change your breast milk, the actual recipe of it, within hours of your baby getting sick. More immune cells, fresh antibodies, a custom-built defense, mixed on demand and delivered in the very next feed. And the strangest part? The mom doing it usually has no idea it's happening. I didn't believe it the first time I read it. My younger one had caught their first real cold, and I'd spent the whole night feeling useless, just holding, just feeding, wishing I could do something. Months later I found out that the just feeding part was quietly doing more than I ever could have. So let me show you exactly what's going on inside, because it changes how you see every single feed. Most of us picture milk as a fixed thing. You pour it, and it's identical every time. Breast milk doesn't behave like that at all. It's a living fluid that shifts hour to hour, day to day, and it can shift based on whether your baby is healthy or fighting something off. Here's the study that made my jaw drop. In 2013, a research team led by Fatini Hesiotu, publishing in Clinical and Translational Immunology, measured the immune cells floating in breast milk. In healthy mothers feeding healthy babies, those cells sit at a low, steady baseline, around 0 to 2% of the total cells in mature milk. Then they looked at what happened when the mother or the baby caught an infection. The immune cell count didn't creep up, it exploded, in some cases reaching 94% of all the cells in the milk. And once everyone recovered, it dropped straight back to baseline. Sit with that for a second. The milk wasn't just nourishing the baby. It was reading the situation and answering it, surging a defense exactly when it was needed, then powering down when the danger passed. And the part that really gets me isn't even that this happens. It's how the body seems to know the baby is sick in the first place. And I'll get to that, because almost no parent has ever heard it. It isn't only immune cells that change. Human research has tracked specific defenders rising when a baby is unwell. A 2015 study by Breeky, Hindai and colleagues in Evolution Medicine and Public Health found that when breastfeeding infants were sick, the levels of two protective ingredients in the mother's milk, lactoferrin and secretory IgA, shifted in step with the illness. Secretory IgA is an antibody that coats your baby's nose, throat, and gut lining, the exact doorways germs use to get in. Lactoferrin starves bacteria of the iron they need to multiply. So the milk isn't only sending more soldiers, it's sending the right kind, to the right doors. There's even research from 2007 by Bryan and colleagues that focused on babies with bronchiolitis, a common and frankly terrifying lower airway infection, and found the immune-active parts of their mother's milk changed in response. Different illness, same pattern. The baby gets sick, the milk adapts. And it's not only sick babies who get a specially tuned formula. Babies born premature get one too, automatically, from the very first drop. Multiple studies comparing preterm and full-term milk have found that mothers who deliver early produce milk with meaningfully higher concentrations of protective compounds, more antimicrobial proteins, more secretory IgA, more infection-fighting factors than milk made for a baby born on time. Researchers at Stanford Medicine note that this preterm milk is also higher in protein, in a form the body can use more easily, specifically to help a premature baby build tissue it would normally have finished building inside the womb. Nobody taught the body to do this. It just knows a smaller, earlier baby needs more backup, and it adjusts the recipe before the baby even latches for the first time. So here's the question that kept me reading well past midnight. How does the mother's body even know? Mom might feel perfectly fine. No fever, no symptoms, no obvious signal. So what's carrying the message? The leading explanation, and I want to be honest, this is still a hypothesis, not settled fact, is something researchers call retrograde milk flow. The nickname is far less elegant. They call it baby backwash. Here's the idea. When a baby latches and suckles, they create a strong vacuum. Milk flows out toward the baby, exactly as you'd expect. But that same suction can pull a tiny amount of fluid the other way, backward, up through the nipple and into the milk ducts. And that backward flow can carry a little of the baby's saliva with it. If your baby is fighting a virus, traces of it are sitting in that saliva. The theory is that the mother's breast detects those traces and begins building a defense aimed at that exact germ, which then gets delivered, in the next feeds, right back to the baby who needs it. If it's true, breastfeeding is a silent two-way conversation. The baby unknowingly sends up a sample of what's attacking them. The mother's body unknowingly reads it and sends medicine back down. Neither of them has the faintest clue it's happening. I'll be straight about the limits, because this channel only works if I am. Scientists haven't directly filmed this backwash during a live feed, and the full mechanism isn't proven in humans yet. What's certain is the result. The milk genuinely changes when a baby is sick, measured in real human studies. The backwash idea is simply the best current explanation for how the body manages it. The what is documented. The how is the strongest theory we have. But here's something most people miss, and it means your milk is protecting your baby even before they ever get sick. The antibodies in your milk aren't only built in response to your baby. They're also a record of everything you've been exposed to. There's a pathway scientists call the enteromammary link. When a mother's gut and airways encounter germs in her daily life, immune cells travel from her gut to her breast and start producing antibodies against those exact threats. Those antibodies pour straight into the milk. As a 2021 review in the journal Cell by Attio and Alter describes it, the milk effectively lets the newborn resist the same germs floating around in the mother's environment, the household, the home, the air everyone's breathing. There's a second clock running inside your milk too. And this one has nothing to do with illness at all. Researchers at Rutgers and the University of Puerto Rico found that breast milk changes on a 24-hour cycle, tied to the mother's own body clock. Morning milk runs high in cortisol, the hormone that promotes alertness, sometimes measured at roughly 4 times the level found in evening milk. Night milk flips the formula, running higher in melatonin and its building block, tryptophan, the compounds that help pull a baby towards sleep. So a 3 a.m. feed isn't just calming your baby down through closeness. It may be chemically loaded to help them drift off. In a way, a daytime feed simply isn't. Some researchers now suspect this is one reason pumped milk fed at the wrong time of day. Night milk given in daylight, or the reverse, may quietly confuse a baby's developing sleep rhythm, though this part is still being studied. Think about what that gives your baby. Their immune system is still years from being fully built. They can't yet make strong antibodies of their own. So your body lends them yours, preloaded with defenses tuned to the precise environment your baby lives in. It's borrowed immunity, handed over with every feed, and it starts from the very first day. That thick yellowish first milk, colostrum, is so dense with antibodies and immune cells that it's often called the baby's first vaccine. It's less about calories and more about coating a brand new gut in protection before the world gets a chance at it. So what does all of this mean for you, in the actual grind of raising a small human? A few things worth holding on to. When your sick baby suddenly wants to nurse around the clock. That's not only comfort, though comfort counts too. Each feed may be delivering a fresh, updated dose of protection, recalibrated for whatever they're fighting right now. The nonstop feeding isn't your baby being difficult. It might be the system working exactly as designed. Those draining nights where you feel like you're feeding endlessly and getting nowhere? Brutal, yes, but there may be a quiet purpose running through them that nobody ever told you about. And I need to say this plainly, because I know who's listening. If you can't breastfeed, or you chose not to, your baby is not doomed, and you are not failing. Formula is safe. Babies thrive on it every single day, and immunity reaches a child through many routes. None of this is about ranking parents or handing out guilt. It's about appreciating one specific, genuinely astonishing thing the body can do. For the parents doing it who never knew it was there. I stood there feeling like all I had to offer was holding and feeding. Like I was barely doing anything at all. Turns out the feeding was doing far more than I could see. A whole invisible defense being handed over with every latch, in a language I didn't know my family was even speaking. And that's the truth about so much of early parenting. The most important work is often happening quietly, under the surface, in ways no one ever hands you a manual for. You're doing more than you realize. You probably always were. If this gave you a new way to see something you do every single day, consider subscribing. Every week we dig into the hidden science of what's really happening inside your baby's body and mind. And a quick like genuinely helps other tired parents find these videos at the exact moment they need them.